Can you believe it's been 1 year since we built our cottage, and we wanted to take this opportunity to do a little review of all the things that have gone right and some of the things that have gone wrong with the build. This build, we project managed it ourselves, we designed it ourselves, we bought the materials ourselves, we hired the builders to help us, and so a lot of things could have gone wrong because this is our first major residential build. I have some experience building cafes in my previous job, but this is the first time that we project managed something ourselves, and so we wanted to show you all the good points and the bad points. If you didn't see the cottage build, I'll put a link down in the description and the pinned comment where you can go back and you can watch us build this cottage from the very start. We do a vlog by vlog series under a playlist called the Cottage Build. But I know that many of our subscribers did see this build, and we want to show you how is it getting on 1 year later. So one of the reasons we had this idea as well to do this vlog is because we're now starting work on our farmhouse, which is a project that's more of a renovation than a build. And so we learned a lot of lessons from the cottage, some things that we would do again and some things that we wouldn't do again for the farmhouse build. That project's going to be taking place over this next year, and so we feel like we're starting all over again.
So we're going to show you room by room in our cottage, our beautiful place, our dream place. So let's go take a look together.
So here, starting with the living room, this has been really a play area for the kids more than anything else. Damo and I don't hang out here much in the living area. So this is where the kids will generally hang out and play. You can see that under the stairs there has become Otis's toy station. We're really happy with these stairs that we have built. We have these custom made and they're really strong. This has been a steel, made from steel and wood. As you can see, they've held up. They've been super strong, and then the storage underneath has been great for Otis's toys, which are usually out all over the floor here. We did have a TV in here, which is actually in the bedroom at the moment, ready for my dad's arrival, because he's going to be staying in there. We want him to have a TV.
So this area is just like for Otis. Before we have the TV here, and then Otis just like sit and play with friends, and then watch cartoon here, and then we put the piano here for Otis so he can learn the piano and decide. So I think when we organize this, I love it because it's more space, and it's good for Otis to practice here too. This is my favorite area. I love it because this idea is from the beginning. When I found this tree, I see it's so perfect to put in the house, and it's there still, and then very nice. No termite come here and then have a problem with this. So we put some decorate with tree, real plant here. And it looked nice. I love it.
So many people did comment when we did our build vlog that the place would get termites because there's so much wood used. And what has been our experience so far with this?
No, actually no termite at all. We never found any termite. Like this door is wood, but it's already treated from the factory. So we just bought from factory, and then they have like a chemical for termite and everything. Or the door, there is no problem. But if it be a problem if you use the new wood, just cut or something, then we have a termite too.
If you watch the series of our house build, you'd know that we had this table custom built as well. It's been super strong and hardy. It's rustic style, super heavy. And as well as they built that one, they built this one over here, which we made from the reclaimed wood, and it's just worked out fantastic. All we had to do was buy a few white chairs, and it's still as strong as ever. A little bit worn, could do with another coat of to make it shiny, another coat of gloss, but then again we quite like it, the more natural look.
It's like we use a lot on this table to put everything and then eating here, and it's old already, what you call shining. It's gone, lacquer. It's gone, but we love this style, like a rustic, like natural thing. And this is Ryan's favorite area for making coffee because we have the coffee area in the kitchen before, and the problem is the dust, a lot of dust outside, and cat jump in, so he kind of pack it, and then now he repack and then put it inside here. He say, "Oh, very happy, no dust anymore." And then when he wake up, so this will be a coffee station for him. That window, the reason we put the window over there because it make the light through inside, and then it like make the house more bright, and we can get the sunlight in here too. So we love it when we have that. We have two sides of them, both sides of the house. And also this door, the most expensive. This door is very expensive for in one part of the house, and we love it. I not regret that to get this style of door, and I think it's perfect for the house, and it's suit for the house.
So for this room, let's just talk about some of the things that have happened in this past year that we didn't expect. And one of those is the cracks. So if you can see up here, we have a big crack up in the wall here. And then when I first saw this, I was like, oh no, the walls are cracking. But actually this is not a crack in the wall, it's just a crack in the render. So on top of the walls, they put a render and then they painted it. Also over here you can see there's a crack moving up. This is also another crack in the render. So we have some cracks. Now these are actually easily fixed. You just put some filler in and then paint over it. We're not that OCD that we have to do it. Like for us, we don't notice it. But as for other people that would want it to look perfect would probably do that. The reason that this happens is because the weather changes in Thailand are so extreme that the building heats and expands, and then it cools and contracts, and so it almost breathes. And this has been a problem in our build in other ways too, which we're going to show you in a minute. But because the building is expanding and contracting, it causes these cracks in the render. So just before we see the rest of the house 1 year later, as you know, I talk a lot about mushrooms on this channel, and I've been using Damo as my guinea pig this past couple of weeks. Let's start with the lion's mane. When you had the headache, how did you get on with the lion's mane the first time?
The first time I feel like the headache is gone, but when it's like used many times, I don't feel it affect a lot.
The long-term impact.
The long-term impact. But the first when the headache, before we use paracetamol, and now I start to use the lion mane.
So I've been feeding her them. Like every time she got something wrong, I'm like, right, try this mushroom, try that mushroom. Then also onto the reishi. So the reishi mushroom, I give it to Damo before bed. And what's been the impact for you?
This really help for the sleeping. Yeah, I can sleep well. What you call have a deep sleep. Deeper sleep, and not feel so worried, because every night I feel so worried about the baby. So now I have more sleep, get enough sleep on nighttime.
So that's been the guinea pig, lion's mane. Not much long-term persistent effects, but good for acute headaches for Damo. I have to say, for me, reishi, if I have 3 or 4 of those before I go to sleep, I have a really nice deep sleep. There's no kind of tossing and turning or waking in the night. You can't really feel the immunological effects of reishi, but a lot of people do take reishi for that. And if you're based in Thailand and you would like to get hold of some of these mushrooms, lion's mane or reishi, you can click the link in the description for Lazada, and you can pick them up there on Lazada and try them out for yourself. And please do let us know how you get on. I'll also link below the study from Queensland University in Australia, which shows lion's mane's impact on nerve regeneration and nerve growth, which could prove useful in the prevention of Alzheimer's and dementia in later life. And we hope you enjoy it, guys, and look forward to hearing your feedback. So let's take a little look inside the bathroom. We can show you one of the issues that we've had in here. First off, the things that went very well, again, the use of this wood, which was all reclaimed and recycled. The sink areas work very well. This is kind of lived in. We live and we use this bathroom. We put our water in here where we fill up our water and get our water. The bath, of course, that come from some subscribers. This has been absolutely fantastic. Some of the issues that we've had though is because of the expansion and contraction of the building, we've had a broken pipe inside the wall and we can't get to it without taking the tiles off. So what happens is the expansion and the contraction have caused the PVC pipe to crack and then the water to come out. You can't really, I'm sure there are building techniques where you can mitigate for this, but you can't know, like when you're doing a simple build like we've done, you can't know that's going to happen. So it can just be like a uneven concrete that may be pressing into the pipe. It could be all kinds of different things. So what we have to do is have a new pipe laid, but we're not too bothered about it. And that's why we have this Thai style. This is how you flush the toilet. So instead of, so the pipe runs through here and usually you would flush the toilet like that. Great. But in Thai style, you flush the toilet like this, manually. So that's, and then also the bum gun doesn't work because that was also listed to the pipe. This shower was also hooked up to the pipe. So now we actually run it from another water inlet which we previously used for the bath. We run it up here to run this shower. These are cheap electric showers. I was cheap Charlie and I bought them from China. So they're like 1,000 baht each or something. I think I probably bought like 5 or 6 because I keep being a cheap Charlie. Instead of going for the expensive one and having one that's going to last for many years, when it breaks, I just go for the cheapest one again and then it breaks again. So there's a lesson for you being cheap Charlie. This one is doing okay so far. You can see it's got Chinese digits all over it too. But that one over there by the bath is broken. Obviously the key feature for this room is this window. And for sure, we're going to put another one of these in the farmhouse somewhere. So I just think it makes such a beautiful effect in the building that it's worth the money up front, the budget up front, to have something so beautiful for forever in the building. So this is something I definitely want to include in the farmhouse. Otherwise, the bathroom's been fully functional as a family. We use it every day, obviously. The kids, good for the kids. And the fact that it's a whole wet room as well, it's easy to clean. We are very happy with the tile choices that we made in here. Overall, I think it's been quite successful apart from this burst pipe. I don't want to knock these tiles off and retile, so I think we're going to drill a hole in and just run a pipe around the outside and then hook it up to the toilet. So that's the bathroom. And the bedroom area, which is now just set up for my dad, who's going to be arriving any day now. So we just got the TV in here for him in case he wants to chill out, watch some Netflix. Of course, this is the air-conditioned room. So actually we've had no problems with this room at all. It's been perfectly suited to everything that we needed it for. Damo and the boys spend most of their time in this room in the night time, in the evening. And so it's been perfectly suited. I'm really glad we added this fan to the roof. Definitely worth doing. When you don't want the air conditioning on, it's nice to be able to switch the fan on here, which Damo's brother fitted for us. And yeah, we're really happy with this room, with this space, perfect size, and it's worked out very nicely.
So we have the upstairs, but actually we not use a lot. We not use at all. Only keep for clothes, like something. So I'll show you upstairs. And also one thing that regret about it, about building the stair face this way, because when we come up, it's hit the head, especially if you like a big guy or something like that. It's not easy to come up here. So here actually we have like a small table just for like maybe we think okay, good for sitting area, but actually we never come up here and sit because it's very hot. Even that we put like a 2-time insulation. Thailand have 3 seasons: hot, very hot, and crazy hot. You know, so it's like very hot here, so we not use a lot. We not come up only if we want to hide some stuff from Otis. So we come up here.
So Damo will use this for her shop stuff as well. She keeps her stock up here. Sometimes she'll keep clothes up here that are not used a lot. So she does like bits of laundry up here. Obviously the hot air gathers at the top of the roof as it rises. Now in usual designs, proper designs for this, you would put a fan at the top of the roof there, an extractor fan, which will pull all the hot air out. It's something that can be added again, but I just don't think we'd use this space so much anyway. In the future, we may wall it off at the balcony area and make it into a bedroom for Otis. So this could be a third bedroom now, because my office has become a bedroom. Now let's take a look on the balcony that we also never come out on. And this is exactly the reason why, because it's so hot. See, it's so hot that she can't stand on it. My feet are okay. I'm a bit tougher than Damo. So she can't even stand on these tiles because it's so hot out here. And then when it's not hot, you know, at night time when it's not hot, you wouldn't come out here because of mosquitoes. So really, like, the balcony has got not much use at all.
Yeah, because we used to put the plant up here and then it's too hot.
Well, the plants died as well when we put the plants up here. I've got a little solar panel here which is running a light for underneath the balcony, which is the entrance to my office. I mean, you get a nice view from up here. You could sit up here and get a nice view, see the pigs and whatnot. But the truth is, we probably didn't need a balcony. We haven't used it. If we were sunbathers, I guess it'd be good, but we're not. And I can't think really of any usage of it in the future, what it's going to be used for. Maybe a hydroponic garden, but if I did that, we would have to put a roof over the top of the balcony. So you could put a roof up here and you could run hydroponic vegetables up here, because you're going to get a lot of sun, and it's a nice space. But for now, the balcony's been pretty useless.
The hot in Thailand is so crazy, I tell you. So here the front cottage is my favorite area, the front porch. And because I love when have plants or in front porch here, it make the place look tropical, nature, you know, like I try to find something to decorate in front here, so it make like when you step in, it make me feel like fresh every day when in the morning when I wake up and see all the tree in front here, and then water every day. So it's like very useful, this area. We sitting, planting, and you know, like I spend a lot of time doing the garden in front here. So overall, I love this area so much.
Now, there were also some comments when we did our build about the foundation, like, oh, the foundation won't hold, or it'll get cracks, or something like that. And actually, we haven't seen any evidence of that at all. It's only been 1 year, so sometimes cracks can appear years later. But actually, the foundation is really strong. It's only the render of the walls where we've had an issue. So actually, we're quite happy with it. It did have rebar. There were some techniques, Western techniques, that weren't followed. But the Thais have their style of doing things, and so far, so good. And so, round the corner here is what started as my workshop, but has now become kind of our little cinema room. Here I just used to grow the San Pedro cactus and different plants that I grow. Some of our more specialist plants do well around here. For some reason, the sun just is kind to them in this area. And so this has become the office and little cinema room in here, just a little private space. This is also air conditioned along with the main bedroom, but this space is just kind of used for projects. The old bamboo hut over there we now use as a shed, so it's just basically for storage. And one good thing about the balcony here is that it provides some shade, so it did have a use after all. Our outdoor kitchen, which was built before the cottage, is working as fine as ever. I think if there was one change that we would have here, we would put some doors on the front, which would keep insects out, because the insects are attracted to light, and so they would come in, and you have to keep it rigorously clean. You have to make sure there's no insects like dying on the counter, and you got to clean it all up. So this one has become a very utilitarian kitchen. Like, we're very happy with it, but I think in the future we will put doors on the front. And I'm glad that the kitchen is not inside the cottage as well, because to be honest, we've had nearly a few fires here. We had a couple of incidents, like fire hazard incidents, so I'm glad that the kitchen is separate from the cottage. And it is a nice space, like during the day, to hang out and have a coffee, because it's all open plan like this, so it doesn't need to be air conditioned. It's quite comfortable in the shade, and yeah, overall it's worked out very nicely. So that has been the review of the cottage. We're very, very happy with it. Was there anything that you would change? Like, if there's something you could go back now and you think, actually I would change this and do this instead?
Only change the stair to go upstairs. That's all. To go like under the roof. What you call that one? Room under the roof.
Yeah.
Yeah. Only one thing that. But overall, I feel very happy with this, and then I think the look of the cottage is what we expect and what we plan. It's come out so perfect.
I think for me, if it was up to me, I would probably make the upstairs, not have done the balcony, and have made the upstairs into an actual room, and then have that as a bedroom, like a kid's room. Now with the balcony, the indoor balcony and the outdoor balcony, it becomes a bit of a danger to the kids, so it's not good for them to be up there. But I think if I had the chance again, I would wall that off and actually make a bedroom upstairs. So that is the one change that I would make. So our next big project is the farmhouse. It's a really big one. We don't have a big lump budget for that. We're going to be taking it step by step. We're going to be using some of the things that we've learnt in the cottage in the farmhouse. What in particular do you think that we learned from the cottage that you would do also in the farmhouse?
I think farmhouse going to be a different style. Going to be like a Thai wooden, like I don't know, it's like a farm stay like that. Not gonna spend a lot of money like the cottage here. Not gonna be modern. Going to be like a house with nature. I think it's going to be like a farm stay.
I think like what we learnt, I think it's worth putting the insulation in the roof. So we will probably do that again in the farmhouse. Yeah, I think we'll use minimal colours as well, like the whites that we've used in the cottage, whites and woods. I think that has worked quite well. I think we can bring some of the nature from the outside inside. It's like we've done in the cottage. I think we learnt that. I think for the bathroom, like the way we've tiled it and made it a wet room, I think I'd like to do that also in the farmhouse. The circle window, take that from the cottage into the farmhouse. There's a lot of little things. The way we have like a porch, which you can put lots of plants on and things like that, is quite cheap to do, but we could do that in the farmhouse as well. So I think there's a lot of little things. I like the windows as well, these kind of square windows. So I think that would fit quite nicely in the farmhouse when we do the windows. So there's a lot of like little things that we can take from what we've learned here to do the farmhouse. So thanks for joining us today, and if you'd like to watch the cottage build, the playlist is below. If you'd like to see what we plan to do with the farmhouse, I've also left a link below in the description, pinned comment. Big thank you to all of you that have chosen to subscribe and like the content. Big thank you to the members and the patrons, and we hope you're all well. Take care, guys.